hotel clerk told her to leave. Then the manager whispered, "She owns this place." The grand lobby of the Harrington Grand Hotel in downtown Chicago had seen thousands of guests walk through its gilded doors. Celebrities, politicians, CEOs in tailored suits carrying briefcases that cost more than most people's monthly rent. The marble floors reflected the light of 3 massive crystal chandeliers, and the air always smelled faintly of fresh roses and expensive cologne. It was the kind of place where appearances mattered. And on a cool Tuesday morning in October, that obsession with appearances was about to cost one young clerk everything she thought she knew. The woman who walked in, Dorothy Mae Henderson, was 71 years old. She wore a deep green suit, not the flashy logo-covered kind that screamed wealth, but the quiet, well-cut kind that whispered earned dignity. Around her neck sat a single strand of pearls. On her lapel, a small gold brooch in the shape of a sunflower, her late mother's. In her hand, she carried a worn leather briefcase, the kind that had traveled continents and survived decades. Its scratches told stories. She walked in without an entourage, without a personal assistant checking her phone ahead of her, without anyone announcing her arrival. She walked in alone. And that, apparently, was enough for Ashley Brennan to make up her mind. Ashley was 26 years old, barely 8 months into her job as a front desk clerk at the Harrington Grand. She was efficient, well-dressed, and deeply committed to one particular belief, that she could tell within 30 seconds whether a guest belonged in a 5-star hotel or not. She'd never been trained to think that way. Nobody had written it in any manual. But somewhere along the way she picked it up. That quiet, dangerous habit of sorting people by how they looked before they ever opened their mouths. Dorothy approached the front desk calmly. Ashley looked up from her computer screen, took one glance, and felt that familiar assessment click into place. Older woman, worn bag. No reservation confirmation visible. Probably lost. "Can I help you?" Ashley asked, her voice carrying just a touch too much of that particular tone. The one that really means, "Can I redirect you somewhere else?" "Yes," Dorothy said pleasantly. "I'm here for the 10 o'clock executive review." Ashley blinked. "The executive review?" "That's right." Ashley glanced at her screen, then back at Dorothy. "Ma'am, that meeting is for senior corporate leadership only. It's a closed event. I'm going to need to ask you to—" "I understand," Dorothy said, still calm. "Could you let Mr. Patterson know I've arrived? He'll sort it out." Mr. Patterson, that was the general manager. Ashley almost laughed. Guests tried to name drop all the time. It was practically a sport. But something about the way this woman said it, not desperately, not nervously, just matter-of-factly, gave Ashley a small pause. She ignored it. "Ma'am, I can't just interrupt Mr. Patterson's morning for—" "You won't be interrupting him," Dorothy said. "He's expecting me." Ashley straightened her posture. "I'm going to have to ask you to step aside. If you'd like, I can call security to help you find Ashley." The voice came from behind the desk. Firm, quiet, immediate. Ashley turned. "Daniel Papp, the front desk is where our guests first experience what we believe. I want to make sure what they experience matches what we claim to believe." She closed her leather notebook. "We can do better." Daniel Patterson took careful notes. What happened to Ashley here is where the story takes a turn that surprises people. Ashley Brennan was not fired. Dorothy Henderson did not ask for her termination. She did not request a formal complaint be filed. She did not make an example of the young woman in any punitive sense. What she did was ask Daniel to enroll Ashley in the company's newly restructured hospitality leadership program. A rigorous, months-long training that combined customer service excellence, unconscious bias awareness, and genuine professional development. A program that Dorothy herself had helped design years earlier, because she believed that people who made mistakes deserved the chance to grow from them, provided they were willing to do the work. Ashley was willing. She later described it as one of the most uncomfortable and most valuable experiences of her professional life. She learned things about her own assumptions that she hadn't known were there. She sat in rooms with hospitality professionals from across the country and heard stories that rearranged something fundamental in how she understood her job. She wrote Dorothy Henderson a letter, handwritten, on plain paper. She didn't make excuses in it. She didn't explain herself. She simply said, "I was wrong. I'm working on understanding why. Thank you for not giving up on this hotel being a place that does better." Dorothy kept the letter. She kept it in the front pocket of that old leather briefcase actually for a while because it represented something she had always believed about people. That most of them, given the right conditions and the honest opportunity, would choose growth over defensiveness. Not all of them, but most. What the lobby remembered, the guests who had witnessed that Tuesday morning exchange talked about it. Word spread the way things spread now, quickly and widely. Someone posted about it. Then someone else did. Then a journalist who had been in the lobby for an unrelated meeting wrote a piece about it, carefully, without naming Ashley or identifying her, that focused on Dorothy's response, on the quiet, unperforming dignity of a woman who had every reason to be furious and chose something more powerful instead. The piece was titled, "She Built the Hotel. They Asked Her to Leave. Here's What She Did Next." It was read by hundreds of thousands of people. The comments were full of the kinds of stories that collect around a true story. People who had been dismissed before they opened their mouths. People who had done the dismissing and recognized themselves. People who worked in hospitality and felt the peace naming something real in their industry. Dorothy didn't give interviews about it. She never had been someone who sought that kind of attention. But she did say one thing, in a brief statement her office released. "I've been walking into rooms my whole life where someone decided before I spoke that I didn't belong. I built something so that other people wouldn't have to earn their welcome. That work isn't done. It won't be done until every person who walks through a door, any door, is treated as if they matter, because they do."